Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks
Donovan.
like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
We are back. Better than ever before. A little bit of a break. J-Lo out of the building. He'll be right back. Tampa Tones alongside the great J-Lo here. Hope to get more of the true gentleman in as well. Again, not sure what happened with J-Lo. I think technical difficulties, but he'll be right here as we got a great episode of the Buccateers to get to on our hands. Today is the great Mike D. already says, besides Baker's ankle, how are the Bucs health-wise? We'll get into that and so much more here on the Buccateers on this Wild Card Wednesday special. And we really got to push our agenda back an entire night because we got named to Monday Night Football for the second consecutive year. The Bucs will be playing on Monday Night Football, but you're in the right spot tonight if you want to hear injury updates, Antoine Winfield snubbery, Bucs adventures. We're going to call out some haters and doubters and draft calculators. We got a lot on our hands here on the Buccateers for this Wednesday. I'm Tampa Tones, joined alongside my great friend, my great co-host, my great partner, J-Lo, and we've been out of it for a little bit now. I was on vacation. I got under the weather, but now we're back and better than ever before. J-Lo, how the hell you doing, brother? Long time no talk. Hope everything's well. I'm excited to talk playoff football. Me and you always had a plan. We always had a path. It was somehow get to the playoffs. Any way we could get to the playoffs. Whether it was, losing 4 in a row, changing things up, yada, yada, yada. Me and you never lost track of our vision. And here we are, brother. We talked it into existence. We got playoff football, and it feels great. How about you?
Yeah, man. To all the tanker wanners, here we are in the playoffs. Like I said, we have the talent. Bowls the hit or miss at times, but we're in it, baby. We're in it to win it. Now we're in the dance, and now we just gotta go out there and kick some ass, man.
And I agree with you, J-Lo, and I want you to elaborate a little bit on the draft wannabe calculators, I call them, the draft tankers, whatever it might be, because me and you have been on the show probably since around the 49ers game, even before the 49ers game, saying we're not going to tank, right when all the tank talk started happening. Even our own co-host, Stunna and Bucko, and a couple of those guys had us down but not out, in matter of fact. So I just want to give a quick message while I let you take it away. You draft calculators out there, you draft architects, you draft wannabes. Enjoy the playoff run. You didn't enjoy the regular season run, and that's shame on you. I feel bad if you missed out on a hell of a ride this regular season. It was incredible, ups, downs, thrills, all in between. And if you were busy with your draft Pokedex, you probably missed a lot of performances and great plays by this Bucs team. And I don't think you should stop now because I think we got a very realistic chance at winning on Monday Night Football. And to me, you should never start turning your back to the draft until it is literally elimination time for your squad from the regular season, while in the regular season from playoff contention. So shame on a lot of those fans counting this Bucs team out, this coaching staff out, and all of that out, J-Lo. I mean, we had people commenting on the show that we should tank. We had people coming on the program recommended to tank. A lot of tankery was in the air, not at fault of me or you, but a lot of individuals around the Bucs were screaming the word tank.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, it's hard to really like Tampa fans. I love my Buccaneer family, But it's just like one of those cousins at a family get together and you don't agree with them, and you get into like a big mishap, and basically, they just want to turn your back on the team. They hate Todd Bowles, they hate Baker Mayfield, and he's not playing well. But the thing that fans forget is, do we really want to go back to where we were over a decade ago? Losing seasons, waiting on the next big quarterback to come out. No, we got the players here to win. And the line's coming around, and Baker's a fucking soldier. The guy just battles injury after injury. I mean, he didn't play his best on Sunday, but he managed the best he could, and the defense came out and they balled. I mean, hats off to the defense, and hats off to Antoine Winfield Jr., man. Like I said, we'll get to that
Please.
later. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're in the dance, man. We're there. I'll be there Monday night with my brother. We're going to go and support our team, win or lose, good or bad. I'm a Bucs fan to the end, and I'm pretty sure many are as well. But at the end of the day, some fans want to tank for a Caleb Williams, who I don't think is going to be that good, in my opinion. That's another discussion in the offseason. But I just love being the Bucs fan. We're in the playoffs. I love my team.
As Olivia joins in, says, "What's up, fellas?" Our main man, Christopher Cole, says, "Evening, fellas. Gritty, not pretty." Yeah, it was really pretty at times. Green Bay, it was pretty. Jacksonville game, it was pretty. I agree. Some of the season, it was gritty, not pretty. But the Bucs did produce at times, including a win in Green Bay against a playoff team. So there's been moments and signs of life from this team, and my man Ed Rabasa likes the video, joining in on Facebook as well. So welcome in, Ed. Good friend of the show, good friend of the programs here of the Buccateers. So J-Lo, whether it's been haters or other stuff to talk about, there's no shortage of talks right now of the Bucs. And you mentioned Winfield briefly. I want to get into that a little bit more. Snubbed of a Pro Bowl. His dad came out, as all of Bucs Nation pretty much did, and said, "Hold on, what the hell's going on here?" But we know the Pro Bowl is a mere popularity vote, right? We know it's a popularity contest. It's a Twitter contest. It's fans on Twitter that just retweet stuff and generate Pro Bowl votes. So sadly, the Bucs Twitter base, as we know, or social media base, isn't as strong as other teams. So down and out on the Pro Bowl. I kind of get it. We're not a lot of popularity on there, whatever. But there's a newer All-Pro vote made by his peers. The All-Pro voted by the NFLPA, and that got released today. Winfield was left off that list. And this is a vote by his peers around the league. I had some people comment to me, "Oh, this isn't the real NFL, blah, 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 all pro, blah, blah, blah." This is almost just as important to me because this one is by his peers, people playing the game of football. And if you get disrespected by those around you that close to your circle, that's a slap in the face. And that should never happen. And it should never be that way because Antoine Winfield Jr. busts his ass on a weekly basis. Hence why he got that title from Good Morning Football and the McCourty brothers. As Steppin' Peppin says, "What's up? I was a cruise. Phenomenal. Steppin' Peppin paying the price. Got a little sick now." As Casey McCullough joins in on Facebook. But me and J-Lo are back ready to roll. J-Lo, what say you on Tweez getting snubbed by not only the fans on the Pro Bowl, but by his peers around the league for NFLPA All-Pro?
Just a bunch of people not really watching football right now. I mean, no disrespect to Bates and the other guy, Hamilton from Baltimore. They're good safeties. But Antoine Winfield Jr. has been performing at a high level. Game-saving plays from like 2 games, realistically. And he gets overlooked. I don't get it. The man's a whole package. He's busted his butt. And the only people that actually watch him are Bucs fans that root for him. But because Tom Brady's not here, so we're not being looked at as much anymore, he's going to be one of those ones like Levante David, Mike Evans, being overlooked, not being respected. And it's sad, and I feel for his dad. I don't blame his dad going off on on all the Pro Bowl voting. It just shows how much of a joke it really is. I mean, why even have the Pro Bowl anymore? Let's just do an honorary season thing at this point. That's why I don't care for it. It's in Orlando. I wouldn't waste $10 on that. It's just a waste of time watching players goof off, like buttholes like Cameron Jordan. By the way, F him. So glad he seems to make the playoffs. And then, but Antonio Winfield Jr., like I said, it's messed up. He deserves All-Pro. He deserves Defensive Player of the Year. T.J. Watt's had a big year as well, but he should be the guy that should get that award. I mean, how much more torture you want to put this man in?
And can we give some love to Jason Light for that incredible post he made?
Let's roll.
That was incredible. And, that post has been brought up a lot. A lot of people have been commenting on it, but none other better than Jason Light. Pretty much Cam Jordan last year at the Pro Bowl games or competition, whatever the hell you want to call it. As Pep and Steppen says, Winfield Jr. is a bad man. I was unable to message you my address. Message me, Pep and Steppen, Anthony Tones on Facebook. You'll surely be able to message me on there. You'll be able to get it. But Cam Jordan last year at the Pro Bowl, as Christopher Cole says, I guess the Pro Bowl voters must be mad at players. Pretty much.
But that's right. But Buda Baker over Antonio Winfield Jr. That's what blows my mind.
It's a joke.
The guy hasn't played as many games as Antonio Winfield Jr. He had no picks, no forced fumbles. Who the hell is Buda Baker? That's the real question.
Yeah,
and I can explain that when you're ready.
And Baker is, popular guy, popularity contest as such. But the Jason Light Pro Bowl comments were hilarious. Cam Jordan last year at the Pro Bowl games made a comment saying, now that the Bucs are, in shambles without Tom Brady, they're going to go back to being the Bucs. So Jason Light quote tweeted him and kind of said, hey, you're right, we are back in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. What a jab that was. Stunna, first and foremost, how the hell you doing, brother? How you feeling about the playoffs? Hope you're back on board now that we're in the playoffs. And secondly, please do elaborate on the Buda Baker situation. It sounded like you had some good stuff to share there, brother.
Yeah, I'm definitely not back on board. We should have lost Sunday 17-9. We got lucky that Carolina left 17 points on the board. All right. I hope we beat the Philly.
That's not true. I mean, that's untrue. Winfield has made those plays all year just because they get.
Okay, what if he falls down instead of fumbles the ball there?
What if he doesn't? What if Baker Mayfield is able to connect with Mike Evans on that deep ball and they score a touchdown there? This isn't a game.
Okay, what if they make their field goal and then what if they don't have a legal formation? Then it's 10-9.
Again, what if Mayfield
even that one touchdown, they still have played it.
Hold on. What if Mayfield hits Evans on the deep ball? What if Trey Palmer doesn't drop a deep ball? That's 2 touchdowns right there. So I know where
Trey Palmer going to drop everything. You know that.
Stunna, I know where you're coming from, but you've been hating on this team for the past 6 or 7 weeks now.
I haven't.
And it's really unnecessary. It's really uncandid from Bucs fans.
They piss me off. I'm going to be honest.
I think you got to have a better attitude as a lifelong Bucs fan. I just don't appreciate your attitude.
Shit, I was at the Saints game. Don't tell me.
I'm saying I don't appreciate it, brother. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm keeping it real, keeping it 1,000.
You're not
gotta
keeping
do that.
it real because we're 4-time playoff appearances now. You're turning into the media who you used to hate. That's who you're sadly turning into.
The media likes to stir up shit and get our kids suspended and stuff. So I'm a little different than the media.
No, you're
the media straight up haters.
You've been hating on us since
I expect them to play with pride, dignity, and self-respect.
And that's what we've done to get to 9 wins this year. And a time where people thought
I guess you can't.
Should have been fired, and at a time where people pointed out all our flaws when we were 4-7. I just want the same energy from you when we beat the Packers, when we dismantled the playoff team in Lambeau Field in the cold. I just want the same energy from you when we ended the Jaguars season, and I want the same energy from you Monday night when we win a playoff game. How about that?
If we win Monday night, I'm going to be more ecstatic than anybody. And I don't care if we win another game.
No, brother, that's one thing. I don't want you getting back on the wagon. Once you're off like you are now, you're done. You're off. You can't get back on after Monday's win.
Okay. I feel that, we all know this team overachieved, but I think that we need more talent.
How about that?
What happened?
Like Steppen Peppin just said. He said, I love this. How about that? I'm just calling you out here.
Call me out. I'm willing to take it because some people know ball and we have not played well. So, and that's why a lot of people want Bowles gone.
Explain the
Because-
past 7 weeks to me, how we haven't played well, sir.
We suck against the run. People run up and down the field on us.
Again, explain the last 7
Sunday,
weeks,
number
how
30.
we haven't
Sunday,
played well.
number 30. What's his name? Cuba Hubbard. He was gashing our ass.
And what did that
Right?
do for the Panthers?
Well, they are dysfunctional.
How many points?
And that's
did
why
they
we won.
score? How many points did they score?
They scored 0.
And thanks to the defense, right? You got to give credit where credit's due. It's just plain and simple. The defense made play after play after play. And Chuba Hubbard, by the way, if 3.6 yards per carry is tearing us up, oh my, Stunner, you know ball, 3.6 yards a carry isn't tearing anyone up. Stop being a sheep, brother. That's all I could say.
All right. I don't think the defense stopped him from missing that field goal.
3.6 yards a carry. That was a 50-something yard attempt. Those are a coin flip.
No. It wasn't 50 yards. It wasn't that bad.
It was 52 yards, that field goal the Panthers missed. It was a 52-yard attempt.
So how many rushing yards did the Panthers have?
It looks like over 100, but again, their yards per clip was not that effective. It goes by yards per clip. They only threw the ball 18 times, opposed to running the ball about 30 times. If you run the ball,
Well, it goes pretty. If you get stuffed at the line 1 or 2 runs, and then the third one you take for 20 yards, your average is going to be down.
I'm just
I don't know. I just would like us to play better, but we can't really complain because we did make the playoffs. We did win the division. So we're just grasping at straws at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
Or I'm grasping at straws. You've been a real deal fan the whole way. I mean, and you know, I admire you for that. But
I don't blame you for thinking like you did. Half our fan base thought like that, but you know, a lot of people are still saying things like fire Bowles, this and that. We're in the playoffs.
No, I don't think you fire Bowles. I think you get better around them. Now, something that might happen is we might end up losing Dave Canales and have to find another OC this offseason. That's very possible.
Yeah, and
because you heard about Seattle, right?
Yeah, and if we had to replace, and that's a good point, Stunner. Canales is, you know, familiar with Seattle, so there could be familiarity on that front. But let me ask you guys this quick. Let's hold hands here for a minute and play choir boy.
Let me address something real quick though. So the reason Buda Baker, and I've been telling y'all this for years.
Go ahead.
The Madden rankings of the players makes a difference. I've been telling y'all that. They always underrate our players on Madden and be like, oh, that's just a stupid video game. No, the rankings is all that matter. Buda Baker got X Factor after his rookie year. None of our defense, you know, it took Levante David, 4 or 5 seasons to get the X Factor after they put it out, right? I don't think you see too many stars on our defense now as far as the X Factor or the all-star ability, right?
Uh-huh.
So because he's known more on Madden, more people are going to vote for him. You see what I'm saying? That made a difference. And it's always made a difference. We can't let these Madden people, these ratings adjusters, sleep on our team all the time, because that's how you get national notoriety. All right. And it's also popularity. You know, I don't think Arizona has a bigger fan base than us. I think he's more popular throughout the United States based on Madden ratings.
I agree with you, and actually, that's a really good point, Stun, and that kind of ties into what J-Lo and I were talking about a little earlier. You do all this voting on X nowadays, right? Who has a lot of X accounts or Twitter accounts? Probably young, middle, and high schoolers. Who's the most demographic that plays Madden? Probably middle and high school.
There it is.
And,
there it is.
You know,
I whooped ass with this guy on Madden. I'm gonna vote for him.
Exactly.
And that's what made Michael Vick so popular.
You're not lying, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, his rushing numbers were great, but some of his other numbers just were nothing to write home about. Besides, I will give him credit. His 1 year with the Eagles, when he bounced back, he had some pretty good numbers there, but that was after his popularity and all that stuff. But Stun, a good points there on the Madden, good points there in the Buda Baker, and, you know, I'm just poking love with you when we go back.
Oh, I know it. I'm good with that. Keep poking.
About the squad, but I do want to ask you guys this. Stunner, you bring up a hell of a point with Dave Canales getting consideration. If you guys haven't heard yet, Carolina Panthers have requested to interview Mike Greenberg, or cap analyst, for the open GM spot over in Carolina. And then they also requested to interview Dave Canales for the head coach. And as Stunna mentioned now, additionally, Seattle is El Monito. My man Fabricio joins us on Facebook, but Seattle did an old switcheroo with Pete Carroll, kind of like the Bruce Arians thing, right? Suddenly he has a front office position, yada, yada, yada. Let me ask you this. Promote within or find from outside? Hypothetical, if Canales leaves, I'll go first. I would like to see Tad Lewis get a promotion to the offensive coordinator position if Canales does leave. Tad Lewis was our quarterbacks coach for this season, and before that, he was an offensive assistant for a couple years. I think Tad Lewis has done an incredible job with Baker Mayfield this season, and really an essential part in Baker's success. And Tad Lewis is only in his mid-30s. He has NFL experience as a previous quarterback in the league with the Buffalo Bills and other teams. So Lewis is a football brain. Lewis is a football mind. And again, the NFL is always about imploring and giving chances to minorities. And I think Tad Lewis would be one of the best you can give a chance to, not only based on that, but based on his NFL qualifications. He's just a hell of a candidate. And that would be my choice. If the Bucs lost Dave Canales, I would promote within. I would go with Tad Lewis. Stunna, would you look outside? Would you look at a Frank Reich and Eric Bieniemy, or would you look within at a Brad Idzik, a Harold Goodwin, a Tad Lewis? Where would you go, Stunna, if the Bucs happen to lose?
I would look outside. I would look outside. I would look for someone that runs a system that highlights two good receivers. So someone that could help us with that. Is someone that's going to run more power. We brought Canales in, and he kept running the same zone scheme that we were running before, and that's kind of like scheme guy, more of a downhill running attack guy. I wouldn't mind seeing what Alabama defense offensive coordinator doing. Him a look, but yeah, I would side.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Stunna. Maybe look at Alabama's coaching tree now that Nick Saban's gone. Crazy day in sports. Saban gone. Pete Carroll gone. Kyle says, I think Vrabel would be a fantastic choice. He's thinking the head coaching picture. I think Bowles is pretty safe now, though, unless something absurd happens on Monday Night Football, like a 56-3 shellac, in which I just don't see at this point. But never say never. I guess you do have a lot of coaching candidates out there now with the Vrabel, with the Bill Belichick potentially, right? But to me, it makes too much sense for Belichick to go somewhere and then Vrabel to go to New England. I think that's how that will shake out. J-Lo, as Pepin says, what about Brady as OC? That's creative thinking. That is a good one. I mean, but he has a lot of, he has a $36 million announcing contract starting next year. He's part owner of the Raiders. I think we'd have to maybe offer him like $40 million for the OC gig. J-Lo, I want Tad Lewis. Stunna wants outside look or help if we do lose Canales. Again, this is a big hypothetical. And this is piggybacking off our next topic of subject of conversation about some scumbag Eagles fan who tricked one of our good ones. But J-Lo, what say you on the Canales situation? If he leaves, would you promote from within a Goodwin, an Idzik, Thad Lewis, somebody else, or would you look elsewhere? Bieniemy, Frank Reich, one of the young and upcomers, as Stun has suggested. Maybe Alabama has someone you could plug now that Saban's gone. Where are you leaning?
Well, first and foremost, I don't see Dave Canales leaving. He'll get these interviews, and he's deserving of interviews, but he's not ready to be a head coach. As far as the Panthers requesting to talk to him, I feel like it's a strategy to probably get in our organization and find out what are we doing right and what moves are we making. Just like what's his name, Greenberg in the interview for the general manager spot. So I just don't see him leaving. As far as Seattle goes, I think Seattle will go with two options. Either they go with Dan Quinn, who I think will have some interest going back to Seattle, and then or not, they promote Shane Waldron, their offensive coordinator. I just don't see Dave Canales leaving at this point, but take advantage of the interviews, build your experience. But if he were to leave, I would say Brad Idzik would be the one I would choose. Promote within, somebody who knows the system, already worked with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin's, worked with receivers, what were Baker Mayfield. You want to keep that same formula. Why start over again and create more confusion, more like disappointment to other players like Mike Evans, you know, if you want him to stay here, you gotta give him a good reason to, which I think he's gonna stay anyway, but that's just a strategy you want to use if you want to extend a guy like Chris Godwin, because you're gonna have to extend him eventually if you really want to keep him. But long story short, I don't see Dave Canales going anywhere. I think he'll get his interviews, but he won't get no head coaching job at this point. He's not ready for it. And I think he even knows it too.
As our man Neil said, what it do? As always, it's an honor to have Neil in the house, Neil in the building. Big fan of the programs. And real quick, I just wanted to talk about scumbag Eagles fans being scumbags a minute. And I'll say it like this.
Booty ass Eagles with that lame ass song.
Philly is one of the worst fan bases in sports in terms of heinousness. They're always rude. They're always cruel. When I went down in September, to Tampa for Monday Night Football, Eagles fans thought they owned the place. They thought they ran Tampa. They were doing chants in steakhouses, obnoxiousness at the stadium, clapping when our players would get hurt, just flat out rudeness. So, although it was obviously fake to me, not to all, some Eagles asshat all the way at the beginning of the year, get this, in training camp, makes a fake profile of Bucs offensive coordinator Dave Canales. He only had about 3 posts through the season, and he followed all these Bucs players. A couple Bucs players followed him back. Then he started shaking up drama with some posts saying, hey, if I take this Panthers spot, blah, 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 blah. Donnie Pepin says they also throw batteries. Yeah, another scummy thing. But pretty much caused this whole shake-up with Canales. Canales came out on Twitter, said, I don't even have an Instagram. 10 minutes later, that Instagram changed to an Eagles fan account, said, a few bucks pretty much, ha, ha, ha. Fooled a couple Bucs media members, but just scumbag tactics by the Eagles. And it makes you wonder how much time these kids have on their hands. I mean, shouldn't they be worried about reading a book or picking up something important? J-Lo, your thoughts on that whole situation and the BS that Eagles fans ensued a little bit throughout Bucs Nation?
I mean, they're not the best fans in the world. I've never had a problem with them when I went to a couple of Bucs games in the past. But however, they do foolish things that turn down their city after winning a Super Bowl. What kind of fan base would do that? It's kind of like stupidity, if you ask me. And as far as that fan goes, whatever, it is what it is. You know, social media, people are going to, they're going to get you every time on the catfish bullshit, thinking who they are. But at the same time, it's just a loser organization mentality. In my opinion, yeah, you were in the Super Bowl last year. Congratulations. But look where you're at now. You got 3 players on the injury board that are not going to be 100% if they play or not, out of Brown, Hurts, and Smith. And I'll agree with Stunner. The running defense is a little scary for us. So DeAndre Swift would be my major concern, shutting down the run and getting after Jalen Hurts. Like, all that blitz, you blitz that piece of shit, and then make him throw those deep balls. And I guarantee you, Dean and CD are going to be on their A game. They're going to go in there and play their best football because they're tired of the talking too. Like, this team, this defense, I think they're going to be one of the main contributors for Monday night to get after the Eagles and the fans. Bucs fans, hear me out. This has been going around on Twitter the last couple of days. Don't sell your tickets to Eagles fans. I want to see more red jerseys in that stadium than green jerseys. Because let me tell you, that was embarrassing in September. Don't make that mistake again. Please do right by your fans. There are fans that would be willing to buy those tickets.
I was there in September. Felt like more Eagles fans were in that stadium. And
oh, yeah. No, they travel well. They do. They travel really well. I'll give them credit for that. But I'm just telling the Bucs fans here in Tampa, the season ticket holders, yeah, it's your right, it's your money. But at the same time, though, don't give it to Eagles fans. Help us fill that stadium out. Let's leave those travel Eagle fans outside the stadium or all the way up in the nosebleed where I'll be at. Let them sit up there far away from the field, and let's get the stadium lit. These Philly fans that are shit talkers, whatever they want, talk your trash, whatever. Come to our stadium, but guess what? You're going to go home with a loss because your team is depleted. Your locker room is not in a good situation right now. Now you got AJ Brown, prima donna, crying about getting the ball. I mean, there's so much drama going on. I mean, yeah, we had drama last year with Brady, but now look who's got the drama. Philadelphia.
Yeah, AJ Brown is turning into quite the drama queen. Stunted thoughts quick on Bucs fans selling their tickets to Eagles fans and Eagles fans faking the identity of Dave Canales on Instagram.
Well, you got to understand there really ain't nothing to do in Philadelphia except go to like ball games and stuff. That's why they're like, so hyped up, so super sensitive about their team because they got shit to do. We live down here in Tampa. If the game's on and you can't go, there's plenty of other stuff going on. And so the Eagles fans are also always negative. They'll turn on their own team. That's what you taught about. Like when they booed Santa stuff, they booed their own team. I was at a playoff game, not last year, but the year before, when Philly came in here and we whooped them, and they started chanting Jalen Ritter and all this other stuff. They turned on their own players.
Gee.
So yeah, so it's just like they're just a-hole fans. That's just what it is. The whole Northeast to me is like that. It's not just Philly fan. It's Giant fan too. I mean, they do
That
some
whole
of the same
division,
stuff.
damn near.
Yeah, the NFC East, exactly. Good point. Because the Redskins, I used to have beef with them back in the day. I was at that '99 playoff game where Brad Johnson fumbled the snap on the field goal, and we won. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 1999, actually, the year we went to the NFC Championship game. So yeah, the Redskin fans they're punks too. So that's just a trash division. Which, by the way, we play next year. So get excited.
That's a good division to have next year. I know it changes year to year, but
we have the AFC West and the NFC East next year.
As of right now, those are probably the two you prefer at this moment.
Shit, I don't want to play the East. I'd much rather play the North again.
You think
anyway,
so? I mean, to me, the Packers.
Well, I guess the Bears are trending up. The Packers they got some offensive players, but if they're all throwing Joe Barry under the bus. Bucs fan knows that Joe Barry is an awesome coach. He was our linebacker coach. We had Derek Brooks. Do I have to say anything else? So it's like they're all upset with Joe Barry. No, you only got no talent. But whatever, they'll figure it out eventually. But yeah. We'll see. I'm excited, and we're gonna try to plan a road trip. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna plan a Buccateers road trip. Hopefully, take over somewhere next year. I think I'll be traveling to Detroit at the very least, as that's right by my house next year. That'll be an adventure.
I have never been to Detroit, Tones. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's ride, Stunted. Detroit next year. Let's make it happen. I've been there a couple times. It keeps getting nicer every time I go there a little bit. When I went there 11 years ago, it was pretty beat up and beat down.
Are you going to drive in or are you going to fly in?
We're going to drive there, so.
All right, so I can fly into O'Hara and we can carpool.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. Let's
talk about it, dude. Yep.
As Pep and Steppen says, let's go. Hey, you can meet us there too. We could have a whole brigade. You're right in Canada, so you could get right to Detroit. But it'll be an adventure. Speaking of adventure, let's see if any of the Buccateers are Monday Night Football bound. And real quick, I want to get into my little adventure I had the past 10 days or so. I just want to give my experience. Although it was a loss, Bucs Saints on the cruise ship, as Steppen Peppin says he's in 100%. Let's go. We got a crew going in Detroit. But, Peppin Steppen said I'm in 100%. But let's just put it like this. My adventure was incredible. Being on that cruise ship for a game, I was a little iffy about it. And not that I'd want to do it all the time, but for the one time, it was fun. I will say that. In the middle of the ocean, in the middle of the Caribbean, I'm in my room. I'm watching the Bucs game, taking it all in right then and there. Ran into a couple fellow Bucs fans on board, so got to talk to them all cruise. Ran into a Saints fan on board, got to talk to him a little bit. So it was quite the time. It was quite the time being in the middle of the Caribbean, watching the Bucs game, just literally being in the middle of nowhere, not a care in the world. So it was good stuff. Adventure time now. J-Lo, you're going to the game Monday night, is that right?
Correct Mundo. I'll be up in the nosebleeds. Well, whatever. I'll sit anywhere in that stadium. I'll be there for my second playoff game ever. Last year was pretty bad, but I think this year we're going to make a difference. I think we'll be in a much dogfight competitive game. It won't be like it was last year. We actually have a quarterback who's not afraid to take hits and actually can, make plays with his feet. So it'll be fun. Like I said, I'm excited. I think my brother and I are in for a real treat. I think a few Bucs fans that show up are in for a real treat, and the Philadelphia fans are going to be disappointed because they're going to put all their hard work money to come here on vacation in Tampa to watch their team lose.
Do you know where you're sitting yet, J-Lo?
I think 328, 329 section, if I'm not mistaken.
And
When I
there's
went,
no bad seat in the house for Raymond
no,
James Stadium.
no, it's supposed to be rainy too, so I'll probably go get me a poncho. It's supposed to be a raining time in Tampa, so that'd be another fun fact to watch because the Bucs have already played in the rain a couple times already. Already playing in the rain, so to me, it ain't my first rodeo. I've been in the rain before, and actually, they won last time when I got drenched in the rain. But this time, I'm being a lot smarter, and I'm going to put on a poncho so I don't get too drenched.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Stunna, are you joining J-Lo at the game on Saturday? Or, I mean, Monday, I'm sorry. Are you going to be there or are you not?
I haven't heard from my brother yet on that, and I really don't like Monday and Thursday games. You know, I don't mind Sunday night games because I know I'm going to be dragging butt on Monday anyway. But it makes the work week hard. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm going to be cheering no matter what.
Yeah, we'll see. It is hard Monday. Me and Pops were thinking about making it happen, but with it being Monday night makes it hard. We have Monday off for Martin Luther King Day, so if it was Saturday or Sunday, we would add a Monday to play with work-wise and, fly home that day. But now that it's on a Monday, it makes it rather near impossible to do just that. But Mike D was asking us about injuries earlier. We're going to get into that quick before we get into our finishing touches here. So Greg Allman tweeted about 8 hours ago, bonus practice for Bucs today with game on Monday, so no formal injury report. Linebacker KJ Britt and cornerback Josh Hayes sat out. Baker Mayfield got a rest day. J-Lo, anything concern you there with us playing Monday? Nothing really caught my eye. We know Baker's not going to be 100%, but other than that, KJ Britt, Josh Hayes, it seems like they'll be good to go for Monday. I know they missed today, but they should be back.
No, I mean, the Baker deserves a rest day. I want him to be at his best. It's not 100%. I'm not concerned at all. I mean, I agree with Stone. I hate Monday night games. I wish he would have put it more toward the weekend, be a lot easier. But, they let put on some Monday night. That's fine. And it gives Baker an extra day to rest, but it also helps the Eagles out, too, to get their booty-ass players to get a rest, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a business, I guess, and will be the last game to play on the wild card weekend.
Stunna, what say you on the situation?
What, you talking about the injury report?
Yeah, so far JJ Russell, not JJ Russell, KJ Britt and Josh Hayes are the only ones sitting out. Baker's a little banged up. Not the worst spot to be in.
We got Carlton Davis and Jamil Dean on the back end. I'm pretty happy if I see that.
Yeah, if you get both of those guys ready to roll, you're good. And Baker today, I watched the press conference, and he seems like he has a good guy to get his body ready to roll for these types of things. Says he's had the same PT guy for about 6 years now. So good stuff
Baker
there.
played like 8 weeks on a torn rotary cuff. That man is tough as nails, and he'll play. I'm not worried about Baker.
Yeah, you're not going to get him out of any sort of game. And I know we only won 9-0, but he was a couple throws away from really making that score a little bit more inflated and whatnot. And I'm excited to see what Baker Mayfield does in his return to the playoffs for the Bucs. Speaking of for the Bucs, are we catching the Eagles at the right time? I surely think so. If you look at the Eagles' past 10 games or so, it's been miserable. Barely eked out a win, and the rest were a bunch of losses. And against some not so great of teams, including the Giants this past week, who laid a hurting on them. J-Lo, a couple weeks back, it was, as Pepin Steppins has got to bounce, thanks guys, go Bucs. Go Bucs, Pepin. we'll be back here Friday night, Pepin, and Saturday morning and Monday morning, brothers. So be able to join us one of those days. But J-Lo, you think we're catching the Eagles at the right time? I certainly think so. At one point it was, Cowboys, Eagles, who would you rather face? Well, as of right now, to me, it's a no-brainer. I'd rather face the Eagles.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we caught the Eagles at a good time. I'm not worried about it. I think it's a team that a bunch of us fans wanted in the first place, just because how bad the locker room and how they're faulting. And like I said, the Eagles are looking like they're plummeting. I mean, they even want their own coach fired and all that stuff. So what can you do? So, but at the end of the day, I think we got this in the bag. I think it'll be a dogfight. And let's show appreciation to our kicker, Chase McLaughlin. That man has been on point with his kicks to where we don't even have to drive the ball down the field for a touchdown. If we just, play good defense and keep him out of the end zone, I think we got this in the bag for sure.
I agree with that. And fuck, man, part of my French. Actually, not part of my French. We're the Buccateers. Fuck it. But I'm excited for this Monday night. Stunna, I think we're catching him at the right time. I mean, we've heard some Eagles fans, as bad as they are, crying about, a lot of stuff, including their quarterback situation with Mr. Jalen Hurts. Do you think we're catching the Eagles at the right time, Stunna?
Oh yeah, they're free fall. I'd rather play them than the Rams right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think knock on wood, but outside of they're one of the better teams you'd want to face right now is the Eagles. That's all I could say. Bucs are catching them at the right time, and I hope that continues to be the case. Obviously, it could change as they made a Super Bowl run last year, so they could click at any time, and I wouldn't be surprised if they look good out there Monday either, the Eagles. But at the end of the day, I think we're catching them at a pretty dang good time. Steppen Peppin did give his score prediction, but we're not going to give ours yet, as we are back 3 more times before the Bucs game. Again, join us Friday night, Feel Good Friday, 6:15 Eastern until the top of the hour. Then join us Saturday morning or Sunday morning, time and date to be announced on there. And then Breakfast with Buccateers, Martin Luther King Day special, Monday morning for the playoff matchup. We're going to be with you guys live at 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Let the Pat and Aaron show finish on WDAE, then give you guys 15 minutes to join over with us here in the Buccateers to keep the playoff coverage going. J-Lo, what's your one big thing you're looking forward to on Monday or playoff weekend in general? What's one thing that gets you amped, brother?
I'm looking forward to watching these other playoff games. There's going to be a couple of upsets in there. I know the Cowboys are on fire, but I think they could probably fall under pressure to a team like the Packers, who everybody's counting them out. It'll be really interesting to watch that game. The one game I'm looking forward to watching before the Bucs and Eagles game is Detroit versus the Rams. That right there is the game of the playoff weekend, if you ask me, because the Rams have been on fire lately, and they're looking like a pretty good, solid team that could go into Detroit and beat them in their house. But then again, Detroit is another team that they overlook. So it'd be really interesting, because if the Packers were to upset Dallas, and if the Rams were to upset the Lions, then we would get the Rams at home if we got past the Eagles, which would be wild to me. But I'm not gonna get too overexcited, because that's just me thinking outside the box a little bit, because anybody can win a game no matter who it is. Everybody wants to hype up Baltimore and the Niners, but let's see how they fold under pressure.
And I think those are a couple of fun games you were alluding to. You got Mike McCarthy against his former team in Green Bay. That'll be a fun battle. Green Bay is playing some good football right now. Then you got Matt Stafford going into Detroit against his former team. So a couple of heavyweight battles there. Stunna, what's one big thing you're looking for on Wild Card weekend or Monday Night Football when the Bucs toe meets leather, 8:15 Eastern? Joe Buck, Troy Aikman on the call.
I look forward to some good games. I watched the national championship game. It was pretty good for the half. I'm just looking for stuff like that. Just give me some good football. And I do think we'll either play San Francisco or Dallas.
I agree with that. J-Lo, as we wrap it up here, again, Join us Friday night, Feel Good Friday, 6:15 Eastern, same spot, same place here on the Buccateers. It felt great to be back, getting our toes wet here. What's your final word here for the program on this beautiful Wild Card Wednesday special of the Buccateers? We got a lot of great comments, great participation tonight. It's been an incredible return. And speaking of return, Bucs playoff giveaways return starting tomorrow. We did the Bucs miss. Now we're doing playoffs starting tomorrow. Bucs giveaways return as well, so pay attention for those. But J-Lo, what's your final word, brother?
Get excited, Bucs fans. Fourth straight playoff appearance, third straight division win, and we're hosting another playoff game. Get excited. I think we're heading in the right direction on being back to a winning culture. And hey, Bowles is still here, and I got a gut feeling he's not going anywhere. I think he's pretty much earned his spot in there as a coach, unless something drastic happens. But at the end of the day, get excited, Bucs fans. Friday morning, get up early, go to over by the stadium for some Bucs giveaways, for free, show your support. And season ticket holders, don't sell your tickets to Eagle fans. I beg you, don't do that. Please, don't. I want to see no green, not much in that stadium. I want to see all red.
I don't think they're going to travel like that.
Hopefully not. I really hope. Because at the end of the day, the fly Eagles fly bullshit, guess what? FUCKU Eagles. That's my ending.
And, they have traveled well to this point, but Stunna could be right. Maybe they don't this time around. Maybe who knows what happens. But Bucs will be wearing red and pewter as well for that game. Something to look out for as well. Stunna, final word before we rekindle on Feel Good Friday, brother.
The amount of times the Buccaneers have won their division, whether it's the Central or the South, are few and far between. Enjoy these days. We're literally living in the glory days of Buccaneer football. I know it ain't pretty. I know it ain't what we expect. But let's go out there and be excited that at least we got some winning seeds and some division crowns. And we got some good players that we can always rally around. Re-sign Mike Evans. Get it done, Bucs. Everyone show up on Monday. Be loud, be proud. Go Bucs.
Yeah, if you could tell any of us, any Bucs fan, a short decade ago, hell, even 6-7 years ago, hey, the Bucs will have 4 straight playoff appearances, including 3 NFC title crowns and a Super Bowl run, you would have said, sign me up, no matter how it is. Get me the hell there. I don't care how it's done. But now fans are spoiled. You get a little bit of taste of victory, and you get a little bit spoiled. And now suddenly winning the division isn't good enough. Again, I know it wasn't the prettiest of pretties, but there were some great times, man. We beat a playoff team, Green Bay, and we beat them badly. We beat Jacksonville badly. We ended their damn season. These are good teams. We beat Minnesota, another almost playoff team. We beat the Saints pretty damn good early in the year. Bucs have had their fun this year, but now it's time to prove it. Prove it wasn't a fluke, and that happens this Monday when the Bucs upset the Eagles at home on Monday Night Football, and I'm all for it. Fire the damn cannons. 3-2-1, touchdown Tampa Bay, K-Dot, and over the middle. Go Bucs, go Bucs, go Bucs. Fellas, any last word before we bounce out and we return on Feel Good Friday? It's been a fun return, guys. I love it. I missed you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Anton Winfield Jr., best safety in the league. Book it.
Not only according to the McCourties, but to the Buccateers podcast as well. Stunna, any last thought, brother? Well, that'll do it, fellas. It's J-Lo. It's J-Lo, it's Stunna, Tampa Tones. It's been an incredible Buccateers. Thanks again, J-Lo. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Sorry for the hiatus. We were going to return yesterday, but I was under the weather. And then we'll be back tomorrow, or 2 days from now on Feel Good Friday, then Saturday or Sunday, and Monday, Breakfast with the Buccateers. It's going to be a marathon until Monday Night Football, but I can't wait. J-Lo, enjoy your night, brother. God bless.
We are back. Go Bucs, baby.
Go Bucs. Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.